All right, Senior Home Business family, how you guys doing today? It's Thursday, January, whatever it is, 22nd. Got Drew and Carmel, and got Matt here in the Valley. Oh man, it's such a big, vast difference between Carmel and the Valley. But I love where I live, but I really prefer where you live at, Drew. Carmel is so beautiful. And today we're going to
Hey,
talk about I feel busy all day, but nothing's actually moving, nothing's actually happening, nothing's transpiring. And we're going to get into all that today. And I want you to stay with me because we got 4 solid points. I believe as senior placement agents or any customer service based business out there, you're going to feel the weight of this in your business. And there's a lot of people that I know are senior placement agents. They're busy all day long, Drew, but nothing's really moving in their favor. The needle's not moving, and toward their goals and different things, but they're all constantly busy. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Before we get into it, Drew, we're super excited for the last couple of weeks. We've had a CRM, and we're super just blown away at what this CRM does. And we want to bring it to you today and say, hey, if you want to know more about how to get a CRM that is specifically for senior placement agents that are out there, it's customizable, all kinds of different things that you'll have on here. You can do invoicing and secure signature, e-signature for agreements, etc. And the coolest thing about it is half the price pretty much of what's out there. What's typically out there is anywhere from about 350, maybe it can probably go as low as 300 maybe, but 300, 350 and above. And Drew, ours is at 149. So if you want to know more about that, feel free to click down below. We'll make some references to CRM throughout this video, but we'll get right into the topic today. So Drew, let's get into it. Again, people that are feeling busy all day, but nothing's actually moving. Number one, senior placement agents typically do a lot of networking, but they don't do a whole lot of the what's called next steps. If you're in the business, you know what those 2 words are. Those 2 most beautiful, prevalent words in the industry, next steps. And you need to do this as a process you take the senior and their family through in order to get them from where they are to where they need to be. But too many people, senior placement agents, are out just networking. Now, I'm not minimizing networking, Drew, because I teach all the time, like an 80-10-10 principle, right? 80% of what you're doing is activity, networking, marketing, things like that.
yeah,
So that's how you're going to get business is some activity. However, what I'm discouraging people from doing is the meaningless activities and to more or less guard your time. There's plenty of people that ask me to meet them somewhere for coffee or to come to a certain event. I just got a text last night to go to the event and I didn't respond because you know what? I'm probably not going to go to the event. I used to go to events all the time. And it's not that I'm antisocial by no means. I'm not an introvert. I'm more of an extrovert. I love people. I love going to events, but I love going to events that move the needle in our favor business wise, or it's something to do with family. Like my daughter and I just went to a North Carolina basketball game and had a great time going out of town. We actually stayed at the same hotel as the team. It was amazing. We met a couple of players in the elevator, all that good stuff. So I'm not antisocial. But I think a lot of senior placement agents think that to be successful in this business, you always got to go out and do all these different activities. And they're always meeting people. And you'll see, I saw it on LinkedIn the other day, some of my own students, and it's great. But I'm not sure how much it's moving the needle in their favor. They're out at a certain event, they're kind of hobnobbing, got the picture together. Hey, I'm at this association and all that good stuff. And I think it's good for friendship. I think it's good for just getting to know people. I'm just not sure if it's really that effective in your business because I did all that at the beginning, and I don't really recall receiving anything
mm,
productive from those meetings. Did I say hi to people again? Have a conversation and all those things. Not minimizing that. It just didn't move anything in my favor. I could do more at home and reach hundreds, if not thousands, of people on social media than I can going out meeting one person for coffee. Now, again, you have to kind of gauge it though, right? Because that one person for coffee could be a great contact. But if it's just some random person or just some random idea, just like let's just get together and pick your brain, you really need to think through that, right? What do you think, Drew?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I just went to one of these yesterday, senior roundtable breakfast out in Monterey. Met so many lovely people. I mean, from home health to home care and social worker. But you have to be deliberate about where you spend your time and who you're following up with, and kind of what category do you put them into your business? Are they a
Hmm.
potential lead source for you? Are they a potential referral that you might send some of your clients to them? Or so I think it's important to kind of understand, the purpose of networking is to create collaboration.
Yes.
And what type of collaboration are you trying to create with these folks? And it was sort of overwhelming. I've got a stack of like business cards and brochures behind me
Yeah.
that I took home. So I need to process all of that and reach out deliberately. I think one of the challenges why it's easy to feel like you're doing a lot of networking but not getting next steps is because you can't just keep all that stuff in your brain. Like all those hands I shook, all those people I met, I have to write that down
Yeah.
and then define the next steps for each one of them. Otherwise, it's very easy to just get overwhelmed by it all and and not move anywhere with it. So I think
You know,
having like a system, external brain for you to help keep track of that really helps.
no, that's a great lead in, Drew, because I was going to say before we get ready to show up on a screen is, doing this network, but not doing next steps. And that's the two biggest words in the whole process. But next steps in me in marketing would be getting out and getting these business cards and having some kind of information written on the back of the business card if it's not a two-way deal. And then taking those business cards and putting them on my desk and kind of prioritizing who I'm calling next. But then we need a place to put that information, right, Drew?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this is
that's
where I
right.
think you were going with it. It's got all that information with business cards and all the stuff you wrote down. Now you could actually put it into the TSL CRM. Drew, hit it, man. Tell us about this thing.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about as a placement agent, you're having to manage three types of relationships: your relationships with your clients, of course, and their families, as well as the relationships you have with your communities that you serve, and on top of that, your relationship with your referral sources or lead sources, SNFs, hospitals, wherever you get your leads from. And that's a lot for a human brain to like keep all in your head and
Mm.
know what the next step is with each of those relationships. And so that's why we created this CRM to help you keep track of this. So you can kind of course, keep track of your clients, keep notes about your clients, all their finances, current location, the level of care they're looking for, their ADLs, health notes, personality notes. And by the way, this is all fully customizable. So if you have other things you want to keep track of in your CRM, you can add those fields, you can modify them, change them. So it can really fit the way you think about your business. So you can keep track of clients, you can keep track of your communities, of course, the pricing, the placement fee you agreed to with each of them, bed count, all those sorts of
It's
details.
it's basically just staying organized, right? I mean,
Just
and a
staying
lot of times,
organized.
yeah, these business cards, again, you bring them back, they kind of get put off to the side. And, God, this is dating me, I know, but we used to have like a Rolodex. I used to have like this little book with you could put the business cards in, and every sleeve had all these. But man, it's so hard to stay organized that way. This right here, the
Totally.
TSL CRM, is amazing for your business, and you're going to need to do this in order to grow. I would believe, Drew.
Totally. And the cool thing is that you can add next steps to all of these specific contacts. So like if I have a next step for Agnes here, I can add a task like follow up with Agnes after her tour at Ivy Park, let's say. And I'm going to put a due date. I want to check in with her tomorrow morning. So I'm going to make it tomorrow, 8 a.m. I can even assign it to one of my team members if I'm part of an agency. Just keep it for me. I'll hit save. And so that'll, that way it's not, now that task is not running in the background of my brain, taking up space.
That's
I've
right.
outsourced that. Now the system is going to remind me tomorrow. I don't have to keep that in my head. And you can do the same thing for communities, even for the lead sources you work with. You can add tasks and put due dates to them. And that's the way you can really take a system. The system of what needs to be done productivity wise, but you need a way of keeping track of all those to-dos. So that's what you can do here in the CRM.
Love it, man. Love it. It's just amazing, guys. And we're not necessarily just promoting CRM today, but man, that's what we're doing this last 2 weeks. And if you want something for free for the first 30 days to try it out, we're going to help you with the transferring of information to get it over to the new CRM. And it's $149 a month. And I say that, and some of you might think that's expensive or not expensive. But again, what I said earlier, most of these other CRMs that are for senior placement out there are 300, 350 and above. And they are hard coded. They're not as customizable as ours. There's a lot of different advantages you got with ours, no limits, right, on users or territories, things like that. So I would encourage you to look into that. But Drew, man, number 2, if you really feel busy all day and nothing's getting done, you're chasing good activities instead of lead producing activities. I see another area with senior placement agents and some of my own students. And I just talked to somebody last week and they were like 6 months into their business, they're still branding. 6 months into their business, they're still working on their website. 6 months in the business, they're still trying to perfect their logo, their colors, their business card, everything organizationally. I didn't do any of that, you guys. When I got into the business in 2018, I used to work for assisted living community. When I made a break, I had to make a clean break, which I encourage any and every one of you, that if you're out there and you got a full-time job, keep your full-time job, do this on a part-time level, and then grow the business, right? I couldn't do that. I wasn't afforded that opportunity because it would have been a conflict of interest. I'd have got fired. So I had to make a clean break. And so when I made a clean break, within the first 30 days, I had 3 move-ins. And the reason I did all that is I got a cheap business card. I got a cheap Wix website. I say cheap. Again, I don't know where it is today. I don't have Wix, but back then it was like $10 a month. So I get all that, but I did it quick. And I can tell you, I wish I had pictures of it, Drew, because my website was horrendous. It was terrible. My business card was even worse. It looked good on the screen, but it was so dark when I got it. It was so ugly. But you know what? I could have said, oh my gosh, it's going to hurt my brand. I can't give this information out. I can't give business cards that look like this out. No, I went out there and said, boom, started passing them out. And I treated like those business cards were the best looking thing in the world. Maybe it helped me because they were so freaking ugly. I don't know. Maybe that stood out. They were like, God, who would actually pass out a business card looking this hideous? But maybe that was my favorite. I have no idea. But the point is, there's too many out there that you're chasing good activities instead of lead producing activities. And so instead of concentrating all on the administrative things, you need to get to the marketing thing, which we just told you about, not going to too many activities unless it's going to move the needle in your favor. So figure that piece out and say, okay, where do I got to go to have meaningful conversations so I can get business? Right, Drew?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's all about next steps, right? With those contacts. And, one of the things we're trying to do with the CRM is make it easy to jump through some of those administrative hoops of setting up your website. For instance, we got website templates built in, so you can just plug in your information, be ready to go, because that shouldn't be holding you back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it shouldn't be holding you back. Let's go to number 3. You're not asking for the business because you don't want to feel salesy. That's a cop-out. If you truly believe in your business and the why of your business, meaning you are truly in it to help seniors, and you truly want to help someone, you are not going to withhold information in your services from others because you don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to come across as somebody trying to sell somebody. Look, it is a matter, if you treat it like this, I know this is an extreme, but if you treat it as life and death, if I don't get this information out to the appropriate people regarding seniors, there's going to be more catastrophic events that are going to happen, right? More people are going to die. Believe that. That's probably not true, but kind of it's a life and death kind of thing. And so it's going to place a sense of urgency with you to get the information out. It would just be like anything in life, that there's some things that would happen that you wouldn't think twice about. If you're fishing, which I don't know why I use fishing analogies sometimes, man. I never fish. It's like the third time I've done this in like 6 months. And every time I get ready to say it, I'm like, why am I talking about fishing? I mean, I don't put worms on hooks. I mean, I don't do that kind of thing. But I just, anyway, let's say you are fishing, and I kind of call this maybe thinking about Carmel, thinking about the coast. Let's say you're fishing on the pier, and then you notice somebody fell off the pier into the water. I think most of us, if we can swim, and most of us that we're compassionate toward others, we wouldn't give it much thought that we're going to dive in to save that individual. Now, put it in the situation, maybe it's an elderly person, somebody that cannot swim. You're most definitely going to do it if you're able to swim and save that individual. It's the same thing with senior living. I know it's maybe not extreme, but it could be. You got to think in terms like this. If you don't interject and come into play because you know what you're doing, you know the market, that senior of that skilled nursing facility or wherever they are might end up at the wrong place. And if they end up in the wrong place, they don't get cared for as good. If they don't get cared for as good, they might not get the right medication. They might end up passing. Think of it that way. It's kind of extreme. There's a lot of responsibility. But when you think of it that way, you won't think of, I don't want to be salesy. Because if you are trying to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I used to consult in a lot of different industries, so I have a decent sample of what different industries are like. And what stood out to me about senior placement business is how much love the clients have for the senior placement agent. It's like it's unlike anything I've ever seen. These families love their senior placement agent. I've told the story before, but one senior placement I was working with, she got a handwritten letter from a family she helped 7 years ago, saying,
awesome.
"I'm just thinking about you and how much you helped." And you talk to senior placement agents on TSL or Senior Placement Institute, and they will tell you this is the business to get in if you want the love and appreciation from the clients you serve. So you should not feel salesy about this. You are providing a loved service, much appreciated service.
You are right. They are very grateful for you as a senior placement. So if those families are grateful for you as a senior placement advisor, then you should say, okay, I want to get back into that same situation because I want to help somebody else. In order to get back into that situation, I've got to let it be known what I do, right? I've got to get attention in some form or fashion. I do a lot of social media. I do a lot of skilled nursing facilities. We have some hospitals. We got other contacts that we do. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, so it may not happen overnight, but you've got to be able to continue to build your business, because the way I look at it is, and I truly get it. I mean, in this business, Drew, you'll make a lot of money if you get a lot of move-ins. I totally get it. I really don't look at it that way. I look at it the more, in sales, it's the more hands you shake, the more money you make, right? In this business, I look at it as the more seniors I help and assist. I want to put myself out there that I feel like, and I may be completely wrong, there's a lot of great senior placement agents out there, but I think all of us should agree, if we truly believe in ourselves, that you are the best person for the job, right? That goes in sports, anything. You're doing something. You don't ever go into something going, well, I'm not real good at it. And you may not be, truthfully, at the beginning, but you got to really have some confidence in yourself that you've prepared. You know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, get to know what you're doing. There's all kinds of links down below. You can drop down and, schedule a consultation call with me and talk about all those different things. But if you know what you're doing and you've practiced, you deserve success. You're going to feel more confident. And so as I go in these situations, it's amazing. So, but here's the thing that Number 4, I thought was very good. You're confusing movement with progress. Now, I got this from Denzel Washington, Drew. I don't know if he actually coined the phrase. Somebody can help me out. Drop a comment down below. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he borrowed it from someone else. I don't know. But you're confusing movement with progress. I mean, you literally could be driving around all day, meeting a whole bunch of people, calling all kinds of people, and Drew still end up in the same place.
Yeah.
I mean, your motion wasn't productive. It was just movement.
Right. Yeah. There's so many, if there's no next step, then there is no progress, I think. And that really is what it comes. And that's the part of the business, is keeping track of next steps for your clients, for your communities, for your lead sources. I think we both believe that that's hard to keep in your head, because this is like a 3-sided business that you're spinning. So if you can be deliberate and then be conscious enough to write things down, set reminders, so that your system ensures that your next steps are always there for you when you need them.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a couple comments, Drew. I think from the same person. And she's been a caregiver for 4 years for behavioral health clients. And I started my placement agency for behavioral health clients instead of seniors. That's fantastic. Let's see here. Another, do you think it's a good path? And are the marketing strategies the same to get leads? I've never done the behavioral side of things. I've met a lot of people that have done it. I can't honestly say I've had extensive conversations about exactly how they do it. But I'm sure there's a lot of common ground in terms of what you're doing now with seniors. There might be a little bit of difference. Maybe you and I can have a conversation about it. You can kind of drop down, click one of the links when you schedule a consultation call. I'll be willing to help you out. I'll be able to tell you how we do it. I just never done the behavioral side, so I don't know exactly to the T what they do. Again, a lot of that I know about behavioral is hearsay. I've heard people. I got this one city in my area in Visalia. They have a lot of behavioral type homes. When I first went down in that area and started marketing, I thought initially they had a lot of residential care homes, Drew. I thought they had a lot of people down there that were, just had all these different homes, but most of them were behavioral type deals. And so the funding's different, obviously, through the state and insurance. There's a lot of different things goes on. I don't pretend to know everything about it because I haven't endeavored in that side of the business. But if you want to have an extensive conversation, we can. But guys, really appreciate it today. Thank you so much for being with us. And let me give you some advice real quick, just kind of end the whole thing. But if you're feeling like you're busy all day and nothing's actually moving, nothing's actually being done and accomplished, get refocused. Go back to your why. Go back to why you started to do what you're doing in the first place, and say, this is why I'm doing it. And that will energize you to start to motivate you, give you some fuel to move forward. And hopefully you can channel those efforts into some areas that are going to be profitable for your business. So we thank you so much for your time. And again, if you want to know more about the TSL CRM, you can click the link down below. You can actually, if you want to schedule a call with me, that's great, with the TSL CRM, but you can also click the link and watch a full-blown demo of it if you want to see. We showed just a little bit on the screen, and then you can go from there. And of course, if you want to sign up, you can sign up. And if you do sign up, we give you the first month for free. Isn't that cool, Drew? And then that's a great extension. We give somebody free first month, man. All over that.
Absolutely.
That's right. All right, guys. Till next time. God bless.